Well, the NFL Week 17 is wrapped up, so let's take a look at what happened over the holiday week and weekend, starting with the triple header on Christmas Day. The Buffalo Bills went down to Tampa Bay and took down the Buccaneers by 27-7. The Bills mauled Tampa Bay, and with that win, clinched the number one seat in the AFC. Josh Allen, 251, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. James Cook had a receiving touchdown. Latavius Murray had a touchdown on the ground as well. Baker Mayfield, 225, 1 interception. The Bucs have already clinched the NFC South, so they have nothing to really worry about. The second game saw the Packers winning 30-23 in a game where the Vikings scored no offensive touchdowns. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. Cousins, 283 and 2 interceptions. Murphy and Blackman had the pick sixes. Jordan Love, 232, 1 touchdown. Aaron Jones with 22 carries, 108 and 2 touchdowns. Busy on the day, but the Packers currently sit in the playoffs. The Vikings need a lot to happen next week for them to make the playoffs. And the final game of the Christmas slate sees the Ravens winning 37-0 in a huge blowout over the Chargers. The Ravens have clinched the 2 seat in the NFC. Easton Stick threw 4 interceptions. Will Grier threw 1. And 6 combined turnovers by the Chargers. Austin Eckler out with a torn bicep. Big injury there, but Lamar Jackson, 170, had a rushing touchdown, a dominant performance for the Ravens. A Saturday special saw the Bears upsetting Cincinnati 32-29, and the Bengals are in a huge spot going into Week 18. We'll show you that in just a moment. But Burrow, 339, another 300-plus yard game and 3 touchdowns. Drew Sample left the game with a jaw injury. Justin Fields with 341 led a comeback drive, and the Bears upset the Bengals. They go to 5-11. Bengals slip to 8-8. On to the Sunday games. The Colts win 28-17, a huge win over the Jaguars, who currently sit in the 3 seat, but a loss and a Kansas City win next week. They're the 4 seat, so they might start their starters. We'll see. Lawrence went 50% through the year, 201, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Anthony Richardson played pretty good, had an interception that was off the hands of Jack Doyle. But the Colts are 8-8 and have a shot at the playoffs next week. The Falcons maul the Raiders 38-6, a dominant win at home under the helm of Taylor Heineke, who went 189 and 2 touchdowns through the air. Jesse Bates had a 99-yard pick six. O'Connell just 142 yards. The Raiders just struggled offensively. Devontae Adams was 57 receiving yards, but the Falcons moved to 5-8. The Raiders 4-12. This game had no impact on the playoff picture. The Lions win 38-17 over the Commanders. They have not clinched the 1 seat. The Eagles share a record with them as long as they beat the Cowboys. But Jared Goff, 237 and 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams played well. Khalif Raymond had his second kickoff return for a touchdown this year. Sam Howell, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Terry McLaurin played strong. Commanders dropped to 4-12. Lions are 14-2. The Rams clinch a playoff spot with a tight win over the Giants. They were up 26-10 going into the fourth quarter, and the Giants scored 14 unanswered and all of a sudden had a chance. Stafford, 252, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Cooper Kupp playing strong again. Tommy DeVito, 199, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The Rams have already said they will play their starters for one half against Seattle before the bench will come in just to make sure that Rams team looks fully competitive going into the playoffs. How about this? A shutout win in the rain in Cleveland. The Browns win 31-0 over Carolina, and they will have a chance to make the playoffs. They now go to 8-8. 186 for Deshaun Watson, who played well. Taki had a 22-yard fumble return for a touchdown, but Bryce Young played rough. Just 1 catch for Adam Thielen on 6 targets. David Njoku, 78 receiving yards. The running backs did the heavy work for the Browns. Carolina's locked up the number 1 pick, which will be in the hands of the Bears. The Saints win 27-10. They get a big win over the Jets, who started Trevor Siemian today, even with Zach Wilson winning last week. Simeon went 173, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He'll start next week in their game against the Dolphins. Carr, 246, and the hat trick through the air. As the Saints can't win the division, they go to 6-10. The Jets slip to 6-10. Big day for Foster Moreau and Chris Olave as well. But look at this. The Cardinals beat the Seahawks 27-24. And just like a year ago, the Cardinals put the Seahawks beneath the bubble. Murray, 185, 1 TD, 1 pick, did not play very well. But Geno Smith didn't play good either. 2 interceptions in the second half. Seattle had 3 turnovers in the second half. They fall to 9-7. The Cardinals win and progress to 4-12. The Texans win 33-13, a big win over New England. They're not safe. Even though the Texans may be one of the best teams in the league, 9-7, they have the worst division record out of the 5 teams that can still make the playoffs. So they have to beat Indy next week to stay alive. But Stroud threw 3 touchdowns, 2 to Collins and Schultz. Bailey Zappi played today for the Patriots. Did not look very well. Had a touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. The Dolphins clinch a playoff spot with a 31-20 win over the Titans. They clinched last week, but still making sure they're in that competitive form, kind of like the Rams. Tua, 203 and a touchdown. I mean, he didn't really do too much. It was the running backs and the defense for the Dolphins that did the work. Tua threw 1 touchdown, Mostert and Achane ran 1 in, and then Phillips with a 49-yard pick 6. 11-5 for Miami. Titans slipped to 6-10, 3 picks for Will Levis. A battle for the division. The Cowboys had to win to keep their division win aspirations alive. They get blown out by the Eagles, 31-14, and the Eagles win the division for back-to-back seasons, 266, 1 touchdown for Jalen Hurts through the air. DeAndre Swift had 2 rushing touchdowns. Prescott, 299, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Eagles are 14-2, but Nick Sirianni said he cares more about the health of his team. He'll play the backups next week. Cowboys slip to 11-5. The 49ers beat the Steelers 29-14, and a huge win because now the Steelers need a lot to happen week 18 for them to make the playoffs at 8-8. So the Bengals, Steelers, Browns, and Colts all at 8-8, and the Texans at 9-7 will battle it out. You'll see in just a moment the Sunday night game would determine if the Broncos would stay alive. But a good day from Brock Purdy, though, 247, 2 touchdowns, as the Niners are 12-4. And the Denver Broncos, unfortunately, have been eliminated in a 30-10 loss to the Chiefs. They had to win. They could only go for the division at best at 7-9. They can't do it. And the Chiefs progress to 10-6, clinch the division on a 300-yard performance and just 5 incompletions from Patrick Mahomes, who played out of his mind. A huge win for Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. No Monday Night Football this week, and there'll be none Week 18. So here you go, AFC standings. The playoff scenarios will be at the beginning of the Week 18 recap video, which will be along with the Steelers-Bengals highlight videos. But feel free to pause and take a look at the standings for the AFC. And just a reminder, in the description below will be the Super Bowl 8 sweepstakes document. Make sure to fill that out to be part of the Super Bowl experience. But yes, next week, it will be a recap video leading into the final game of the regular season between the Steelers and the Bengals. So, huge game right there in the NFC. The Lions and Eagles 14-2 apiece. We'll see if they start their starters. The Eagles won't. Don't know about the Lions yet. But the Niners at 12-4. Bucks at 8-8. The only spot up for grabs in the NFC, the Packers, Seahawks, and Vikings will duke it out. This is ASC signing off.